Dear friends, in this video I am going to talk about importance of pulses. Growing world population is causing serious storm and in future it may cause a havoc for food, energy and water shortage by 2050. Demand for food and energy will jump 70% and 100% and for fresh water by 30% as the population tops 9 billion. In the past, only 12 crops received the major attention of scientific invention or intervention. The big challenge today is how to expand agriculture outputs without further constraining natural resources. Why pulses are required? As we know, cereals give a rich source of carbohydrate, which is the rich source of dietary food per day, whereas along with the carbohydrates to some extent pulses are rich source of proteins and other vitamins. It improves food security, it improves nutrition and health of all the age group like adults, children, age old people, then improve livelihood and sustain natural resources as it is a rich source of biological nitrogen fixation. Pulses offer many nutritional benefits like 3 times richer in low fat protein as compared to cereals including rice and wheat. Pulses have complementary amino acid profiles with cereals. This is also rich in iron and zinc. Good in carbohydrate make pulse a great functional food. High in dietary fiber. Health benefits of pulses contain large amount of vitamins and minerals per calorie. The key minerals are iron, potassium, magnesium, zinc, abundant in B vitamin like folate, thiamine, niacin, high in protein, essential amino acids, rich in complex carbohydrates, high fiber and high microbiome. Some long-term health benefits of pulse crops in human diet. Bean in infant diet helps in growth and development, that too the healthy growth of the infants. Bean in adult diet can reduce the risk of cancer like colon and mammary cancer, then type 2 diabetes, obesity and heart disease. This part is to compare the legume diet versus cereal diet. Legumes are rich in protein, lysine, low in sulfur containing amino acids, whereas cereals are low in protein and lysine but high in sulfur containing amino acid. That means combining food, legumes and cereals provides a balanced diet, improving nutrition, especially in low income communities where other sources of protein like animal proteins are limited. The major legumes and their protein contents are given here. Fabak bean provides 20 to 36% protein, lentil grass 20 to 27%, pea 25 to 31%, kabuli chickpea 16 to 24% and field pea 20 to 23%. This part shows the comparison between the different protein sources. As we can see here, pulses are more climate smart or more water use efficient as compared to the other protein sources of the world. Pulses need 2500 gallons of water per ton production as compared to egg 3200 gallons, chicken 4500 gallons, pork 5900 gallons and beef 20,700 gallons to produce 1 ton. To produce 1 kg of dal, 1250 liters are required as compared to chicken 4325 liters, mutton 5520 liters and beef 13,000 liters. Here there is a world scenario giving pulse deficit reasons. As you can see here clearly, the pulse deficit of South Asia is more as compared to the other continents. It is minus 4.5. Coming to some of the information about pulse family. It belongs to family Leguminaceae or Fabaceae. All type of beans and peas comes in this group. Soybean, peanut, alfalfa, clover, etc. That also includes here. Also includes various trees like black locust, red bud, one of the largest dicot family consisting 13,000 species. It ranks right behind grasses in human impact. The family characters of Fabaceae are five-petaled, irregular flower with bilateral symmetry. Fruit is a legume that has dry dehiscent fruit, two lines of dehiscence with one row of seed. Seeds contain two large cotyledons. The major pulse crops in India, the first and foremost is chickpea, covers area of 73.7 lakh hectare, contributes 38.71%. Productivity is around 800 kg per hectare, and the major producers are Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Rajasthan. Second most is pigeon pea. The area is 36.3 lakh hectare, percent contribution 19.07 and productivity 760.33. And the major contributors are Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh. The next comes mung bean, urd bean, lentil and others. Minor pulses are rajma, moth bean, dry pea, cowpea, rice bean, etc. The main protein source are pulses for vegetarians. World production is stagnant at 60 million tons in last 80 years. The largest producers are India, China, Brazil, Australia, Myanmar. Major exporters are Australia, Canada, Myanmar. Major importers India, Pakistan and developing countries. India is the largest producer, consumer and importer of pulses. Major producers in India are Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Rajasthan, Maharashtra and Karnataka. Indian pulse output is highest as 19.57 in 2013. Annual domestic pulse consumption is 23 million tons. The legume flower is having bilateral symmetry with butterfly shape. Seeds are the important food staple worldwide, rich in both oil and protein, higher in protein than any other food plants, close to animal meat in protein quality, often called poor man's meat. Beans and peas. Some of the oldest and most common food crops, good source of protein, average of about 25% for bean and 21% for peas. Traditionally cultivated for dry seeds, some varieties today have edible pods. Beans are warm season annual plants. Peas grows during cooler seasons. Common edible beans and peas are enlisted here. The common list is black-eyed pea, butter beans, chickpea, broad bean, green peas, kidney bean, lentil, lima bean, mung bean, navy bean, pinto bean, snow peas, split peas, wax bean and winged bean. Coming to the FAO recognized 11 primary pulses. First one is dry bean, that is Phaseolus species including several species now in Vigna. Kidney bean, navy bean, pinto bean, haricot bean, this comes under Phaseolus vulgaris group. Then lima bean or butter bean in Phaseolus lunatus. Azuki bean, Vigna angularis. Mungo bean, that is golden gram or green gram, comes under Vigna radiata. Black gram, Vigna mungo, called as urud. Scarlet runner bean, that is Phaseolus coccineus. Rice bean, Vigna umbellata. Moth bean, Vigna aconitifolia. Tapery bean, Phaseolus acutiefolium. Second group is dry beans, that is Vicia faba group. Horse bean is Vicia faba equina. Broad bean, Vicia faba. Field bean, Vicia faba. Dry peas is the third group. This is Pisum species, Pisum sativum variety sativum, Pisum sativum variety arvens. These are two cultivated dry peas. The fourth group is chickpea, that is Caesar ariatinum. Fifth group is dry cowpea, or that is also called as black-eyed pea, black eye bean called Vigna anguiculata. Sixth one is pigeon pea called as arhar tur, kajan pea, Congo bean, gandules, that is Kajanas kajan. Seventh group is lentils, lens culinaris. Then Bambara groundnut, that is called as earth pea, Vigna subterranea. Ninth is vetch, that is common vetch, Vicia sativa. Tenth is lupin, Lupina species. And the last one is minor pulses like lablab or hyacinth bean called Lablab purpureus, jack bean, that is Convalia encephalus, sword bean Convalia gladiata, winged bean Saurocarpus tetragonalobus, then velvet bean, that is Mucuna pruriens, and last one is yam bean Pachyrhizis erosus. Indian scenario of pulse crops. There are certain concerns about pulse crop like low productivity of varieties, that is the productivity is half as compared to cereals. High risk of abiotic and biotic stresses because pulses are more neglected as compared to cereals and they are planted in the fallow lands after growing the cereals. Low profit. Pulse crop yields 8,000 to 14,000 profit per acre, whereas rice and wheat gives 20,000 to 30,000 and sugarcane 30,000 to 50,000. Low profit productivity caused shifting of pulse cultivation to rain-fed and marginal lands, zonal shifting from northwest to central and south India. Coming to a focus on pulses, there is a knowledge gap which gives role of nutrition and nutrients in health, identification of full micronutrient profile in pulse crops, allergens and toxic proteins. The questions majorly arise during pulses are biomarkers available for each nutrient of interest? Can personalized health claim be tailored to each individual's genetic makeup and medical condition? How to deal with desirable and undesirable traits? If we'll address all these issues along with the policy issues, the knowledge gap and the productivity can be made up. The food challenges in the 21st century. First one is agricultural competitiveness. Improve crop and animal agriculture, enhance farm productivity and income policies, supply chain, storage, transportation. Ecological footprint like water or land use, nutritional resource and environmental stewardship, greenhouse gas, global climate change and depleted soils. Bioeconomy like replacement for petroleum based products and enhance community economic well-being. Health issues like food safety or micronutrients, obesity, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, dementia, cancer, hunger and poverty. Why to grow pulse crops? They provide nutritional security to India like a cheap source of protein. As I already discussed in the previous slide that it has high water use efficiency. The protein requirement 18 to 26% of protein it is containing and it will fulfill the major protein requirement of vegetarians. Custodians like soil fertility, water, climate friendly agriculture. It fixes atmospheric nitrogen 60 to 400 kg nitrogen per hectare through rhizobium symbiosis in a year. Need low input and water that releases low greenhouse gases. To increase pulse production, we have to promote the improved varieties. More than 500 varieties released since 1970 which are popular and adaptive to different agroclimatic conditions. Then second issue is quality seed production. improved productivity or production technology, like narrow down the gap between actual and potential yield. Next is policy support to address various issues like infrastructure for life-saving irrigation, quality input supply, storage buffer stock for seed and grain, remunerative MSP, that is minimum support price, sure marketing. There is tremendous scope to popularize pulses as health food or nutri-rich food. Coming to a view on 2016 International Year of Pulses. It says the session of General Assembly of United Nations 2016 was formally declared to be International Year of Pulses. According to this, the International Year of Pulses will raise awareness about important crops that are essential for sustainable agriculture and nutrition. This was said by Jose Graziano da Silva, FAO Director General. The Food and Agriculture Organization of UN has been nominated to improve the International Year of Pulses in 2016 in collaboration with governments, relevant organizations, non-governmental organizations and all other relevant stakeholders. Objectives of this: to raise awareness of contribution of pulse to food security and nutrition, encouraging the stakeholders including national governments to work towards improving productivity and increasing production of pulses. The third objective is bring in focus need for enhanced investment in research and development and extension services to achieve. The International Pulse Year focused on the aspects like the role that pulses play as part of sustainable food production. Smallholder farmers, especially in developing countries, depend on pulse production for their living. The nitrogen fixing properties of pulses, which can contribute to increase soil fertility and have positive impact on the environment. The contributions of pulse as part of the healthy diet to address all form of malnutrition and related diseases. Conservation and use of biodiversity of pulses against malnutrition, climate change, pest and disease management and land degradation. Contribution of pulses to climate change, adaptation and migration, mitigation. Contribution of pulses towards income security of farmers in developing countries, especially small and marginal farmers. Identify good practices and knowledge gaps and research needs, example in agriculture, nutritional content, processing, reasons for decreasing global consumption. Coming to a list of benefits of pulses. Pulses are a rich source of human nutrition as protein source. Edible pulses have high protein content in their structure and they have significant importance in terms of nutrition source. The amino acid composition of pulses is complementary to those of cereals and if consumed in combination increase the overall protein quality of meal. Their importance in animal nutrition. In tropics, smallholders raise their animals on unimproved tropical grasslands. In the dry seasons, lasting more than 6 months, nitrogen concentration of grasses might fall below 1.1%, that is 7% of crude protein, and at this point animal begin to reduce feed intake. Potentially, crop residues of grain legumes could be used as animal fodder to increase nitrogen concentration of the diet, thus improving animal performance. Pulses are known as nourishing and healthy food sources. Pulses are part of a healthy diet. They have a low fat content and they do not contain cholesterol. Glycemic index, indicator of blood sugar, is low in pulses. They are significant sources of dietary fiber. Since they do not contain gluten, they are suitable for celiac patients. Additionally, pulses contain good amount of minerals like potassium, phosphorus, calcium, magnesium, iron, zinc, selenium and are rich in vitamins like folate. Environmental importance of pulses. Depending on the species and environmental conditions, grain and forage legumes are able to biologically fix up to 350 kg of nitrogen per hectare per year. This biologically fixed nitrogen contributes to reduce the amount of synthetic nitrogen fertilizer used in agriculture and therefore indirectly reduce greenhouse gas emission. Last one is importance for sustainable agriculture and for crop rotation. Pulses are particularly important for sustainable agriculture, not only for nitrogen fixation capacity of most species, but also because some species have the ability to mobilize soil-bound phosphorus, thus making it available for other crops. Additionally, in pasture, cropping and agroforestry systems, leguminous species promote higher rate of accumulation of soil carbon than cereals or grasses. Coming to the steps of varietal development and maintenance of pulses. The first and foremost thing is germplasm collection, introduction, maintenance and uses. Second is creation of variation. These steps are not only the development and maintenance of variety but also the breeding aspects. The second aspect is creation of variation that may be due to with the help of hybridization, polyploidy, mutation, recombination and genetic drift. The third aspect is selection. Desirable traits combine in improving genotype, evaluation with the help of Government of India, ICAR trials, station trials, multi-location trials or CVT field trials. Varietal release, that is Central Varietal Release Committee or State Varietal Release Committee based on dust test and VCU test. Multiplication, 4 stages of multiplication by governmental institutes, that is nucleus, breeder, foundation, certified seeds and labeled seeds. Seed Act 1966 control multiplication and distribution of a variety. Deterioration of varieties. How already developed varieties get deterioration. That is due to genetic causes like developmental variations, mechanical mixture, mutation, natural outcrossing, minor genetic variation, selective influence of disease and techniques of the plant breeder. These are genetic causes. Then agronomic causes are selection of suitable agroclimatic region, selection of seed plot, isolation of seed plot, preparation of land, selection of variety, selection of seed, time of planting, seed rate, seed treatment, method of sowing, nutrition, irrigation, roguing, weed control, disease and insect control, harvesting and threshing of seed crops, seed drying and pre-processing and transit storage. This is a scheme showing cultivar breeding, maintenance and multiplication in India. As in the previous part, we have already seen that many of the genetical and agronomic factors bring changes in the cultivar that will no more be eligible for further dust testing, or it will lose its initial quality and growing aspects. So there is a scheme for breeding program to improve cultivar. National institutes and SAUs are responsible, and the nucleus seed and breeder seeds are subjected to maintenance breeding that was sponsored and produced by breeder or institutes. For the multiplication of breeder, foundation and certified seed producing agencies are responsible. That means many of the national institutes sponsored or breeders or institutes and seed production agencies will help in maintaining and multiplication of certain pulses or all the kind of varieties released in India. Pulse crop seed production. Pulses are grain legumes. These are derived from the Latin word pulse, meaning thick soup, made from grain legumes. Soybean, peanuts are leguminous high protein crops but not regarded as pulses but oil seeds. Similarly, vegetable crop garden pea is not pulse. All the leguminous plants are not pulses, but All pulses are leguminous, which form symbiotic relationship with rhizobium bacteria to fix nitrogen and enhance soil fertility. Method of varietal maintenance depend on crop pollination behavior. As pulses are highly self-pollinated except pigeon pea, often cross-pollinated, but crossing extends up to 25 to 30%. Pulses flower are cleistogamous, open after pollination, which ensures high self-pollination. Method and seed standards of self-pollinated crops are used in pulses. Method and seed standards of pigeon pea are different, including its hybrid seed program. The genetic variation appear within a seed stock for many reasons like mechanical contamination, admixtures resulting from undesirable pollination or recombination, residual segregation, mutation, continuous intervention required for maintaining purity, maybe morphological and genetic purity of a variety. Sponsored breeder or institute is responsible for varietal maintenance for nucleus and breeder seed, whereas foundation and certified seed by seed producing agency through seed certification. Coming to methods of pulse variety maintenance. The maintenance method is plant to row method. In this, parental material received from breeder raised in small uniform plots. The selection of fair number, that is 300 to 500, of healthy plants, typically of cultivar, and marked them for progeny testing. Harvested separately the seeds of the marked true to type seeds only. Seeds of each plant are planted in single 3-meter long plant to progeny row. Assessed critically progeny rows many times during growing season. Progeny rows that deviate in one or other characters are discarded and entire plant progeny row is rejected. Selection and bulking only plant progenies that are uniform and true type as nucleus stage 1. Used nucleus seed for planting larger breeder seed plots. If breeder seed requirement is more, then another cycle of nucleus seed production is followed as nucleus seed stage 2. Similarly, if the breeder seed is in shortage, breeder seed cycle 2 is practiced. See, this is also practiced in case of foundation and certified seeds to meet the consumer's requirement. Coming to a special technique in pigeon pea, that is reserve seed method. Here single plants are selected, harvested and threshed individually. Single plant seed examined critically in the lab. Single plant seed is divided into two parts with same serial number. Part of single plant seed is used to raise plant row for evaluation and rest is kept as reserve or remnant seed. Plant rows are critically examined throughout the growth stages. Then selection or retained rows harvested and threshed individually. Plant progeny seed examined for seed character. The reserve or remnant seed of the selected row is bulked to constitute nucleus seed. Coming to the seed standards of pulse crops, the isolation requirement is for mung bean, urd bean, chickpea, lentil and field pea, as these are self-pollinated crops. The foundation seed require 10 meters isolation as compared to 5 meters in certified seed. As pigeon pea is often cross-pollinated crops, foundation seed require 250 meter isolation as compared to 100 meter in certified seed. The minimum permitted level of off-taps in foundation seed is 0.1 and certified 0.2. Plants affected by seed-borne diseases is 0.1 in foundation and 0.2 in certified. Coming to the genetic purity, as pulses should have 99% genetic purity for foundation seed and 98% for certified seed. Coming to the seed standards for pulse crops, pure seed, almost all pulses need 98% of purity both for foundation and certified seed production. The inert matter is also 2. Other crop seed, the maximum permissible limit is 5 for foundation seed and 10 for certified seed for in most of the cases, whereas only in chickpea and field pea it is 5 per kg in certified seed. Wheat seeds are 5 in foundation and 10 per kg in certified seeds. But in lentil it is 10 per kg and for foundation and 20 per kg in certified. Moisture content is 9, the maximum moisture content, and the wafer proof container must have maximum moisture content of 8%. There is a technique of maintenance of parental lines of hybrid pea as proposed by Samir Kumar and co-workers in 2014. This is a normal method as the CGMS lines are maintained, but the special thing is upchordate hybrids. For this, the easy identification of off types in the parental lines, upchordate traits, that is single gene recessive, has been introgressed in the male sterile lines. Coming to the different genome size, chromosome number and protein percentage of important pulse crops. Bambarak beans, that is Vigna subterrana, has genome size of 841 MB. The chromosome number is 22 and protein content is 15 to 25%. Cowpeas Vigna anguiculata has genome size 576 MB with chromosome number 22 and protein content 21 to 35%. Grass pea is Latharus sativus, has genome size of 8 GB, chromosome number 14 and protein content 23 to 30%. Hyacinth bean, that is Dolichos lab has genome size 365 MB, chromosome number 22 and protein percent is nearly 25. Groundnut Arachis hypogae, the genome size is 2.75 GB with chromosome number 40 and protein percent 24 to 34. Pigeon pea is Cajanus cajan. The genome size is 845 MB. Number of chromosomes 22 and protein is 19 to 22%. Moth bean is Vigna aconitifolia, has 1.1 GB genome size, 22 chromosomes and 22 to 24% of protein. Horsegram is Macrotyloma uniflorum. The chromosome number is 24 and protein percent is 19 to 29. Soybean is Glycine max, 1.1 GB chromosome genome size and number of chromosomes 40, protein content 33 to 45%. This has highest number of protein among all the pulses, followed by mung bean. Chickpea genome size is 740 MB with protein content 20 to 24% and chromosomes 16. There is one example I am quoting here to show how the pulses are adapted to diverse ecological niche. As we can see here, the grass pea is tolerant to excessive drought and waterlogging. Similarly, moth bean, horsegram, dolichos, these are also adapted to different stress conditions, either it may be high waterlogging or salt conditions or drought condition. Coming to strategy to enhance pulse production, crop genetic improvement and new genetic gains for improved varieties, vertical increase in productivity through sustainable intensification of production system, closing yield gaps, horizontal expansion, reduced post-harvest losses, then 25 to 60% yield gaps in pulses. Reason are many, like closing the yield gaps can alone supply 60% of pulse deficit. Farmers' participatory research is very important to fill this yield gap. Coming to fast tracking of iron and zinc rich lentil varieties, there is a big approach of biofortification which is attempted in many of the pulse crops. As compared to cereals, the attempt is quite less, but in India, Pusa Vaibhav is a lentil variety having iron content 1 or 2 ppm. Similarly, In Bangladesh, Nepal, and Ethiopia, there are different biofortification approaches. The next one is enhancing profitability of pulse production. How it is done? By reducing the cost of cultivation, value addition, linking farmers to market, and local availability of industries for easy supply and getting the outputs. Coming to raise the awareness about pulse benefits. This can be achieved by inclusion of pulse benefits in school curriculum among children, innovations in pulse production and ready to eat products, messages by celebrities and eminent personalities about the benefits of pulses in electronic media and print, national, regional, and global events involving participation of general public and celebrities, short documentary films on benefit of pulses. To conclude this presentation, pulses are the major contributors for food security due to their enrichment or the rich nature of them in terms of protein and other micronutrients. They contribute to global food security and nutritional security both directly and indirectly through protein content. These are major source of dietary fiber. Protein content of legume is not affected by carbon dioxides as cereals and grasses. Pulses for environmental benefits and mitigation of climate change, as pulse production enhance soil nitrogen fixation that leads to increasing the good health. Production of pulse has lower greenhouse gas emission, lower fossil energy cost than crops that need nitrogen fertilizers. Pulses for environmental benefits and mitigation of climate change. The inclusion of legumes in farming system appear to accelerate soil carbon sequestration, promote soil health since it breaks the disease and insect cycles in soil created by prevailed cereal monoculture. Considering the nutritional and environmental benefits of pulses, it is essential that pulse consumption is well encouraged. It is important to bridge the gaps between production and consumption at both national and global level. There is an urgent need to invest more in science and technology to enhance pulse productivity, production, and reduce the production cost. The International Year of Pulses is an excellent opportunity to promote the consumption of pulses and more investment in science and technology to enhance pulse productivity and production for global food and nutritional health security and healthy soils. Thank you. I hope you liked this video and kindly subscribe my channel for further updates. Thanks once again. Coming to legislations on seeds and propagating material. Seed Act 1966 and Rule 1968, Seed Control Order 1983, New Policy on Seed Development 1988, Plants, Fruits and Seed Regulation Order 1989, PPV and FR Act 2001, Exim Policy 2008 to 13, Plant Quarantine, that is Regulation of Import into India Order 2003, Seed Policy 2002, Seed Bill 2004. The Government Seed Act 1966 through institutes CSC, DSC, CVRC, CSTL, certification agencies, etc. Legal act with punishments including imprisonments, example, manager seed, liberty seed, kernel in 1990s. Based on this and VCU with for sale. Compulsory labeling of seed for sale but optional certification. Seed must be morphologically and genetically pure as per the seed standards of CSC, that is Central Seed Committee. Seed must be identifiable as to its kind of variety, which legally debar sale of encapsulated seeds in India.